When I first started researching this book, that's what I had heard of him. And then when we dug into the research, we found that he was a terrible student. He wouldn't have been a top lawyer because he couldn't perform in law school. He was actually accepted to law school, the first one he attended, because it was a brand new law school. It was only in its second year of existence, and they were basically doing open enrollment. If you had a bachelor's degree, you could apply, and pretty much you would be accepted. And so he was able to get into law school, but he did terrible. And people who knew him have said his thinking was very scattered. He wasn't that intelligent. He just kind of had the benefit of being a white male in the 1960s and 1970s in the United States. Um, so, what I found in my research is that he did go to college campuses and he did wear a sling and he did wear, or sometimes use crutches and act like he had a broken leg and ask women for help and smile at them and say, "Can you help me?" And that the vast majority of women he ever encountered said no. They thought he was creepy. And I would see when I was investigating primarily, these victims, I would go back and look at the newspaper articles from that time period to learn more about the victims because that was very important to Kathy. And I would see all these interviews with women saying, that man approached me on campus and he was creepy. And I told him no. And then later we see when he was doing his confessions before the executions, he admitted that he did try and he failed. And so he would instead just wait in the bushes or, stand behind something where he couldn't be seen. And he'd wait for a woman to walk past. So all this notion about him being intelligent, him being a potential lawyer, him charming women, that was very untrue. The reality was that he attacked most women like he did Kathy. They were sleeping in their beds, or he actually just physically yanked them into his car. He also did have a tendency to carry a blunt object and hit the woman on the head. And then once she was unconscious, drag her into his car. We only know of two instances outside of hitchhiking, which was common in the US up until this point. Only two instances in which women agreed to help him willingly. So, of the 36 women and girls he murdered or attacked, we only see two instances in which women agreed to go willingly. And yet, somehow, this became his persona. And I think part of this had to do um, with the fact that law enforcement at the time had greatly failed. He had escaped twice from jails in Colorado. And when he escaped the second jail in Colorado, he, as you know from the book, he had money that girlfriends had snuck into the prison, and then he was able to escape that prison, walk out the front door, uh, before they even knew he was gone. He was in Chicago at a train station looking at the timetables for the next train. Law enforcement failed. The FBI had no idea where he was, and portraying him as a smart, hard to catch thief thief and murderer was to their benefit. Making him bigger than he was to their benefit, and it stuck.